Hello everyone and welcome to another flight review. In today's video, I will be flying from London Heathrow to Raleigh-Durham in American Airlines economy class on their 777-200. After going on a road trip all across the UK, we returned our rental car at the short stay parking garage, which is right next to Terminal 2. We then took a shuttle that the rental car brand offered us to Terminal 3, which is where this flight is departing from. Upon first impressions, the check-in area was not that big. It was very chaotic, but there's really nothing else you can expect from London Heathrow. Everybody was asked to check in on the self-check-in kiosks. I wanted to say that these kiosks were ease of use as they are in Raleigh, however we ran into some problems that had to be resolved by a few of the American Airlines employees. Additionally, if you're checking a bag, it's at these kiosks where you get the bag tag. After you finish everything that you need to do at the self-check-in kiosks, you must bring your tagged bags to the bag drop. Although the line was pretty long, it overall did not take too long. If you were to run into too many problems at the self-check-in kiosk, they still did offer you to check in with a gate agent that they had. We then took the elevator up to security. Thankfully, security was rather easy and pretty quick. The security agents were as loud and rude as you may see in a lot of American airports. They were very straightforward. However, one thing I did notice that vastly differs between Heathrow Airport and other American airports is that many of people's carry-on bags were being checked by the security agents. This included 2 of our carry-on bags. Although we were pulled aside for both of them, one of them just needed to be rescanned as the first scan did not work out too well, and the other one we just had some liquid in there that we unfortunately forgot about. Immediately after security, you head directly into an area full of amenities, restaurants, and stores. This includes Cafe Nero, the Curator, and even this little souvenir shop to say farewell to the UK. There were plenty of seats for everybody, and also this nice information board that had everything you needed to know, whether that may be how long it takes to walk to your gate or where certain restaurants are. After a little bit of sitting around, we began to head to our gate. We were departing from gate 42, which is at the very end of Terminal 3, so it took roughly 10 minutes to walk there. But that's if you're a fast walker like me. Thankfully, there were a couple of people movers that took you all the way to the end of the terminal. On the way to the gate, there were views of plenty of airplanes, including the One World 777 livery that American has. Terminal 3 at Heathrow is very tight, so there weren't really any food places to get food at on the way to any of the gates. And since our gate was at the end of the terminal, you could practically see all the planes parked at Terminal 3. Anyways, boarding was scheduled to start around 8:40 a.m. But shortly after we arrived at the gate, they came on the announcements and said that our plane arrived to the gate late, so the cleaning crew was still on the plane during the time we would actually start boarding. Due to this, they said there would be a 40-minute delay in the boarding process. You can't really expect much more from American, but fortunately it wasn't really a 40-minute delay. Realistically, it was only about 10 to 15 minutes, so I don't know how they managed to overplay it that much. Moving on, the boarding process was extremely smooth. Similar to most other European airports such as Paris, you scan your own boarding pass, and as long as the light turns green, you're good to go board. Now when I scanned it this time around, it did turn green. But if you've watched my previous flight review, you know it did not turn green last time. For this flight, I was seat 33L, which is a window seat on the right side of the aircraft. Now, I have a few comments about the seat, but let's get to that later. It's time to depart.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome aboard American Airlines Flight 173 non-stop service to Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Shortly after takeoff, we'll be in the cabin to serve you cocktail or beverage of your choice, followed by our international flagship lunch. An hour and a half before landing in Raleigh, we'll be out with light fare and beverages. We appreciate you choosing American today. Enjoy your flight with us.
Now that we're in the air, let's talk about this seat. First, the legroom is awful. There's only about an inch between my knees and the seat in front of me. Now keep in mind, I am nearly 6'2", but it's still not optimal. Now for the seat that I'm actually sitting in, the armrests are quite close together, so it makes the seat uncomfortably narrow. Plus, my head was too tall to even touch the headrest, and my eye line was at least 3 inches above the seat in front of me. The seat back pocket is alright, pretty spacious. What was found inside of this pocket included the classic safety card for this American Airlines 777-200, and a waist bag for those of you who are motion sick. When opening up the tray table, it's in a folded position for if you're only having a drink or eating a snack. It then folds out and it's actually a pretty decent size. It also pulls out quite a bit if you need it to. Here we have the IFE remote as well as a full-on wall outlet that supports both US and UK based chargers. Here's the screen compared to the size of my hand, and yeah, it's pretty small. The IFE remote pops out just like this, but I will say it's quite outdated. And honestly, you don't really need it at all, because the IFE screen is touchscreen and there's no games to play. I'm not sure if it's just American's 777-200s that are all fitted with these very outdated seats, but I heavily dislike it and I think they should promptly change it. On the other hand, the IFE is pretty good and full of content. The interactive flight tracker is nothing crazy, but it's still pretty good. It has many different views, layers, etc. The multiple sections within the IFE include My Flight, Favorites, Kids, Entertainment, Hospitality, Communication, and Connect. Within the Entertainment section are movies, shows, and music. Within those includes new releases, which shows that this IFE itself is up to date. But there are a bunch of movies to choose from. The same applies to the TV shows. There is also a large selection for the music category. Within the kids section basically contains the same thing as the entertainment section, just specialized for kids. Within the hospitality tab, you can find not the meals but the beverages that will be served on the flight. There was a wide array of selection, and it did seem as if they had most of them. This includes sodas, juices, and alcoholic drinks. Around 15 minutes following takeoff, the flight attendants came around with pretzel bags and drinks. Then it was time to serve lunch. This tray included chicken with mashed potatoes and carrots, a bottle of water, some crackers, cheese, a blondie, salad, a roll, and some olive oil and butter. In complete honesty, there were definitely some highlights to this meal, but also some lowlights. Highlights include the roll and salad, which both were pretty good, but the chicken didn't have much flavor other than the sauce. The mashed potatoes tasted just weird, I'm not sure why, and the crackers were very bland. After everyone finished their meals and they collected our trash, they came around to give everybody some vanilla ice cream. It was pretty good, but as you can see, rock solid. But at this point, they dimmed the lights, asked everyone to close their window shades, and it stayed like this for the next few hours. About 4 hours later, we were a little over halfway there. But let's go over some more amenities on this flight, starting with the bathroom. There's no other way to say it, but the bathroom was very small. Once again, I am nearly 6'2". However, the bathroom felt the same size in relation to those found on domestic flights, on aircraft such as 737s and A320s. But of course, it included everything a normal airplane bathroom includes, but overall it just felt very claustrophobic. Now let's move on to some other amenities. If you ever end up becoming hungry over the course of the flight, for economy, in the back galley they have snacks available. I grabbed this bag of chips and it was quite good. Of course, since this is a long haul flight, there was a pillow and blanket provided to everybody. The blanket was very soft, warm, and comfortable, whereas the pillow had quite a weird texture and wasn't the most comfortable. Skipping ahead a few hours, we were now only an hour away from landing in Raleigh. The flight attendant soon came around with this beef and vegetable pastry, and I will say it was actually pretty good. Nothing was off about it and it had great flavor. Originally, the flight attendants were going to come around with drinks after passing out these pastries. However, we ran into a patch of pretty heavy turbulence, so the flight attendants had to take their seats. But only after around 10 minutes, the flight attendants came back with the drinks to serve everyone. Although this pre-landing mini meal was pretty good, I just wish that there were 2 full meals on this flight as there are from the Raleigh to London flight. Which, stay tuned for that video later this summer. Anyways, they played this video on what to expect and how to go through passport control and customs when arriving in the US. I haven't seen any video about it before on other airlines, so it's a nice little touch by American. Now that we've talked about everything that there is to offer in flight, let's deviate some storms and land in Raleigh.
Remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the seatbelt sign is turned off. And keep the aisles clear of all carry-on items. Take a moment to check your seat back pocket for any personal items, like tablets and cell phones. When you open the overhead compartment, be careful, as items may have moved in flight. And thank you for choosing American Airlines.
The deboarding process was quite easy, and on the way out, there were sneak peeks of the premium economy and business class seats. After getting off the plane, you go up an escalator that brings you to the passport control section. Try to get there as quick as you can because there are only 2 desks open, so it took quite a while to get it done. Immediately after passport control, you collect your bags and walk through customs. And that's it for this journey. Thank you all so much for watching, and as I said, stay tuned for more flight reviews in the future. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe to help me out. See you in the next one. Bye bye.